What's up, everybody? How you doing? This is Pastor Frank, Epic Fellowship Church. I'll give you a formal introduction in just a second, but I'm excited to be here as part of our Epic Cares. And I've got a great friend here with me today that I'll introduce to you shortly, but it's going to be a wonderful day. If you've got loved ones that deal with mental health, brain health, dementia, all of these things, I got the perfect person here for you today. So let me get official and I'm going to get her introduction. I believe how you endorse a person and how you bring them on says everything. So we're going to roll out the red carpet for her right now. We're
Oh,
going to get this going. Here we go. Welcome to a transformative conversation at Epic Fellowship Church, where we believe that faith, hope, and action walk hand in hand. I'm Pastor Frank Henderson, and today we are honored to host a dear friend and leader in brain health advocacy, Kat Hartley. Kat is the co-founder of Dangle and Dot, a ministry born from personal loss and courageous discovery. Her journey includes years as a pharmacist, a care partner, a volunteer advocate for the Alzheimer's Association, and a passionate voice for prevention and abuse. Kat knows from experience how memory loss can touch families deeply. Having lost 7 loved ones to Alzheimer's, including her father, yet from that pain has come a calling to help
mhm,
others find understanding, support, and hope. She joins us today to share how research shows that up to 45% of dementia cases may be prevented or delayed through lifestyle choices, and how a vibrant church community can play a crucial role in protecting the brain and promoting what science calls cognitive reserve. Whether you are caring for a loved one or simply trying to live wisely, this conversation is for you. Faith still works,
mhm.
science still teaches, and our community still carries a promise for tomorrow. So put your hands together for the one and only Kat Hartley. What's up, Kat?
Well, my friend,
Mm,
homeroom, we go way back.
go way back.
Uh,
High school.
High school, yes, and
Hi-
look at us now coming
Look
together
at us
with our
now.
gifts, and I thank you for that incredible introduction.
Hey, that's who you are. That's
Yes.
what you do.
Oh, wonderful to be here today and to share kind of what I have learned through my journey, a long journey with Alzheimer's disease and
Right.
all types of dementia and what that can do to our families and our bodies and how it's a growing concern as
Yeah.
our population is aging. And so this is
Mhm.
something we all need to get together and wrap our hands around, heart around, and bring in some faith to this challenging subject. A lot of families are facing in the shadows. I have learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to me because I look back over my life and there have been people that have been in my life that were definitely touched by dementia and
Yeah.
things like that. At that point in time when I was young, nobody wanted to call it what it was or call a
No.
spade. But when I look back at it now, I could see all of the efforts to do patchwork around it. And not to say this is what's going on with your people and this is what's happening in your family, but even a sense of embarrassment about it in my community where I came
Yes.
from. So today I feel like we're going to put a sound out there that is going to reverberate forever. It's not going anywhere. And anytime people want to learn about this subject, they're going to be able to come back to this video and hear a professional talk about it. So I got some hot questions for you. You ready?
I am ready.
Let's get it.
Thank
So,
you.
number
Let's
one,
go.
Kat, when you and Nancy chose the name Dangle and Dot, you wrapped a profound message in something beautifully simple. How does the symbol of the dangle representing those living with dementia and the dot representing care partners help reshape the story of dementia in a community of faith and hope?
Beautiful. So honestly, my friend Nancy Nelson, everyone should meet her because she's one of those people that just, she's driven from inside. And 12, 13 years ago, she was noticing changes, or driving down roads she was should have been familiar with and having to pull over and wondering what was going on. She was a health, in life insurance salesman, and she realized she was rating contracts, and then the next day, she could not remember anything in that contract. So
Wow.
she was brave enough to go and find out what was going on, much to her family. "Oh, mom, you don't wanna know, do you?" And she said, "Yes, I do. I wanna know." Um, so she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease and has lived very well, even though she went to 4 doctors to help try hopefully prove that she didn't have it, but
Mm,
she had it. But she made up her mind that she was going on to live well, to take it by sort of the reins. And then Mai came in, somebody who's lost 7 family members, and we were advocates out in the community, and I think God just kept putting us together. People think we're mother and daughter, but we're here to talk about it from the 2 sides, because you cannot talk
mm,
about a person living with dementia without talking about the caregiver they're both going through some big changes. Dreams maybe shelved, how people
yeah.
used to be. So Dangle and Dot actually came from an idea to create earrings. My friend Nancy, who had the dementia, would walk out with 2 different earrings on, forgot one. People and their daughters and daughter, "Oh, mom, do you know?" So dangles represent people living with the disease, and the dot represents the caregiver. I am a solid rock, and I got you.
Wow. So, I was talking to someone the other day at church after church, and we were talking about her daughter who was going through a tough time, with an illness. And so I said, "Hey, mom, daughter, let me talk to you a second." I just felt impressed to say, because I know when people are ill, for whatever reason, the people that care for them, they're going through the same thing with them. And it's
They
kinda
are.
like what you just said, I don't think anybody ever in their life, because I think about us coming through school together, coming up
Yeah.
and rocking
Yeah.
out. Nobody wants to grow up and get dementia. Nobody wants to grow up and get cancer.
We
Nobody
don't
wants to grow
sign
up
up
and have
for that.
diabetes. Right. So it's like when it happens, it's very tough for the person that's contracted whatever or is going through, but it's also tough for the people that care. And so I want to ask you this follow-up question here. For someone who's listening who may be thinking it's too late, what would you say about the small everyday steps they can take right now to protect? We're going back to the brain, their brain health.
Brain, yes, and I have spent I worked for the Cleveland Clinic, the Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health, actually, believe it or not, and here in Las Vegas. And, the research was showing that our lifestyle has a lot to do with developing all types of dementia. And
Mhm.
so there's a whole you're gonna see more and more talk around brain health and how do we keep our brains healthy? Because guess what? Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia s start laying the grounds 10, 15, 20 years before we start seeing the signs. But
Wow.
if y Yeah, I know. So and especially if you have a family history, then you might be a little more at risk. So this has been my message. I've been out in the community, educating people on how important it is and that we have a choice to be a partner. We get to have some decisions, right? About what kind of fuel are we putting in this beautiful vessel? And then are we sleeping?
Yeah.
Sleep is a huge, your brain, when you sleep, is doing a dishwasher scrubber cycle. Yeah, there's, like, debris getting out of there, and it's when you're in a deep sleep is the only time your brain can do this.
Mm,
Yeah, so your brain, your body, it's working together, like, it's the most incredible I mean, when I've studied the body now, it's just amazing how it all works together. When your
mhm,
heart beats, 20% of everything goes to your brain to feed it, to fuel it. This is why we say walk, exercise, move, get that heart pumping, because that blood needs to go up here. And
mm,
we're hardwired to protect the brain. What do we do when a ball is coming our way? What are we are told to do in a storm, in a tornado? What do we do?
mhm.
The
Yeah,
body, yeah, we gotta protect this thing up here because it's vital to our survival, to be honest. Even when we're about to fall, the body will sacrifice an arm that can be repaired to try not that brain to hit the head to hit the ground.
exactly.
Yeah. So, eating, being able to, what's your real food? I'm just gonna put, one big category on it, real food, not the processed stuff. We gotta
I
get
got
back.
you. I got
And,
you.
yeah, but walking, um, also, like I said, sleep and staying calm and finding your peace. Our brains work so much better in a state of calm and peace than it does when we're anxious and we're hurried and we're distracted. So those are the things I think finding prayer or coming to church and refilling the cup can help us that you work from that part of our nervous system.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, but another big part of keeping our brains sharp is continuing to learn, to read, to do new things, music, languages, studying things, doing things that make your brain, oh, that's really hard for me to do,
Mm.
are great for your brain. 20, 30 minutes
Wow.
every day. Yeah. And we know now we can make new neurons connect. And actually, neurons in your brain connect better after exercise. Like if the
Wow.
yeah. So if you could put a walk and then come study something or do a game, your brain, and then if you get a good night's sleep, at night is when those things really shore up.
Wow.
And
That's
then,
incredible.
yeah, and I talk for hours on this one subject, so just we can
That's
move
good.
on when you're ready.
No, that's good.
There's
That's good
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was part of my second question for you, and I think one of the things I read when I was looking you up, and we were talking about getting together, it said something about, and help me if I remember right or wrong, meaningful relationships too.
Yes, so meaningful relationships have shown to be protective to our brain health. So working on those really core relationships, and I think this is where the faith can come in and have that sense of love and compassion. Can we foster that more with one another? And church is a great place to bring that along, but it really shows it's protective to the brain. There was a big study of nuns who all lived together. It's a famous study about cognitive reserve. And now
Mhm.
they have a special environment. True, they all lived together, but they were able to show that even though the signs of dementia were all set up, Alzheimer's disease in their brain, a lot of them never ever showed it. And
Wow.
a lot of yeah, just being probably faith-based, never alone, always learning, sharing, being in a state of peace and calm. And
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let's say I've got a car that I buy off the lot. It's
okay.
brand new,
Mhm.
right?
Beautiful.
It's ready to go. It's purring. It is ready. It is ready in every way. Then I take it and I park it in my garage, and I never drive it for 30 years.
I
When I
love
get
this.
ready to drive it, I'm gonna run into some problems with it.
That's right.
And so, are you saying that we need to be active in the same way we would protect our heart health, our reproductive
Yes,
health, our circulatory system, all of the things that the body needs? We need to really think about brain health in the same
we
way. Is
do.
that what you're saying?
Is exactly what I am saying, and that you're the partner, right? You're the one who can decide what you're gonna have for breakfast. You are the one who gets to decide that I'm gonna take a walk with my buddies today, or I'm
Mhm,
gonna do some line dancing. I'm gonna get moving. Um, yeah. You do get to, and it really affects every single cell. And then
mhm.
you can choose to take some time to learn something new. Listen in your heart. I want to explore something in my family history. I want to write a book. Your brain really is designed to create. And the beauty I love with our elders is they have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom they could be sharing in this last chapter, putting it all together. That really can benefit. So, yes, you're right. It's use it or lose it for sure on brain health. And, some people joke that we have, our digital dementia now. We can't remember phone numbers. We can't navigate. The brain helps us navigate. Back in the day where we had our maps and had to
I
know north.
remember I remember my old telephone number growing up when we were coming up as kids to this day because we had to memorize it. But now I don't
And
remember anybody's number. I just punch their name in my phone, and,
exactly. Right?
maybe I'm slighting myself here, but, those are things to think about. So we kinda talked about preventive things that people can do. You talked about exercise, some type of mental stimulation, sleep, diet. You talked about all of that. So let me go to this question. And then because this deals with, hey, I heard that, but we're in the throes of it. So here's my question.
Okay.
You personally walked the terrain of grief, loss, and caregiving, losing 7 relatives to Alzheimer's, and now you're serving as a care partner to your mother and your brother. From that place of deep experience, what have you learned about the role of a caring church community in protecting the brain and building what those scientists call, that you spoke to earlier, cognitive reserve?
I knew it.
Because now you're in it. So let's
I'm in
talk
it.
about that.
Yes. And I do believe, I've learned to accept challenges as something I need to understand. And when I was caring for my dad, like far away, when I was listening to my other family members one by one going, right? I was just an
Mhm,
observer more or less, and then with my dad, I was just 100% reacting. Oh my god, in fear, and in loss, and grief. I couldn't believe this was happening to my dad. Um, but now
mm,
God gave me 2 people to care for at one time,
mm,
and then after I have all this professional experience. This is really I'm deep. I'm in the deeper level of what this all really means. I have a brother who had a special brain from birth. And then I have my mom who's at the end of life here. And I will say the caregiver role, and if all the people in your church, those caregivers need somebody to tap them on their arm and say, "You are doing a wonderful job." They need
mhm,
affirmation. They need affirming that what they're doing is a wonderful thing. Um,
mm,
and I like to have people think about it. we've used the word caregiver so long that, it can't all be giving. One person cannot just give, give, give. That cup is going to be empty, and then
Mm.
you're scraping no one is served. The statistics around caregivers dying before or getting sick before their loved one goes
Oh my God.
is scary.
You hurt me here.
I'm
You hurt
sorry,
me.
but we need to talk about this, and this is
Mm.
where the church,
Mm.
can come in. But I would like to say, can we start seeing people living with dementia as able to give also? And this is where I am now
Yeah.
with other organizations. Can we step back and give them opportunities to also give back in their own way? And my brother has taught me this better than anyone. If I don't take
Mm.
over his life, if I step back, if I use my mind to be creative, if I am inspired more from he is whole and complete just the way he is.
Wow.
Now, I have my brother, he started out when I got him, he saluted me one day because I was in his space. But now I stepped back and I said, what can he do? Cat, what can he
Mm.
do? Not take
Yeah.
over everything. Okay. It's
Mm.
impossible. Now he's doing dishes, dishwasher, he's done my laundry, takes out the he really helps. And I'm doing the same when
Right.
you think about partnering, I think about my mom's at the end of life. She's tiny, but she's
Mm.
determined. We switch from mom role to who's the mom here all the time. It can
Right.
be a little, oh, ouch, that hurt. Um, But just, what can she do? Well, she made me a peanut butter
Yeah.
and jelly sandwich for on a
Wow.
Saturday night. Now I can say, "Wow, I'm here with my loved ones on a Saturday night." But what a blessing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, think about it as partnering, but the church, this disease needs so much more community. It needs acceptance. There's some wonderful people out on social media who have brought their loved ones to church and talked about the reactions they got. Somebody in
Mhm.
later stages, people, I don't know, they have different reactions to this disease. But if we can be more inclusive, can we bring them to church? Can we
Yeah.
include them in church?
Yeah.
Or can church members who reach out to someone caring for somebody bring that
Wow.
casserole by? Um, Say, "Hey, I'm just gonna come by and, you know, have my teenage son cut your grass." Offer small acts
Right.
of kindness to families is huge, and telling that caregiver, "You are doing a great job."
Yeah. It's you're making me think here. One of the things I'm learning about, I've been studying. I'm doing a new study, and I'm thinking about the community, the church, and the call, and
Yeah.
how we should be. And one of the things I'm learning is I'm trying to take the Western lens off of when I read the scriptures. And so I was looking at this thing about the table of the Lord and how for them, it was almost like it was an altar, and it was a table where everybody could come sit at that table. And in Acts
Mm.
chapter 2, the early church, it was different because people always saw, the big people, the little people, the rich people, the poor people, the
Mhm.
people that got it going on and the people that don't. And what that table did, that table that was like an altar, it equalized everybody.
I love
And you
that.
just made me think. I'm thinking about the people that have been at Epic and that have had some mental issues. I think about growing up in Rocky Mount, the churches I attended, the people that had mental issues. You know, we could hear that stuff and we could talk about how, well, when I was sick, you visited me. But that's different than saying, you're sick and I want to be a caring force for good and kingdom expression in your life. To see you as no matter what you're going through, you're just as valuable to him as anyone else. And I gotta, in my heart, this altar of self, I have to lay it down in order to include you in the things of the kingdom, just like everyone else. So when I'm
Amen.
thinking about what can happen at church, what could be done at church, who can do this at church, I have to include those people that are battling some of the brain issues that you're talking about. I appreciate you
Um,
for opening that up for me today because I see that
oh.
that's the altar and the table that we got to put people at.
Oh, and I love how you express that as an altar, because that's,
Yeah.
really the people that I work with that have the disease. It's sometimes they say it's not that they're having issues just putting on clothes, right? And doing simple things. We take that stuff for granted that the brain is doing all those things for us, but what takes away the dignity is people's reaction to them. And
Yeah.
my partner at Dangle and Dot, she's so good at describing how it's people's reaction to her when she's late, when she forgot, all these things, how it diminishes it's more diminishing, so much so that she recoils from doing things. But to allow somewhere where people can come, holds them up. It gives that sense of purpose, belonging, that I can go one more day. Um, yes,
So what
I
what is your
yeah.
friend saying about how she feels? What is she saying that people are saying to her that we could address the people and say, if you are living or doing life with someone that is experiencing dementia, some type of mental struggle, what can we do? What are people saying to her so that we can put it in our hearts that we don't need to be this way or say these things?
Yeah, well, she has a lot of trouble around, r getting dates right and calendar type of things. So she gets charged at the doctor often for
Ooh,
not remembering the appointment. I don't think that's right. They should
that's not
accommodate
right.
her. That's not right. But then
Agreed.
good friends. Um, she's had good longtime friends sit across from her and try to prove her wrong. Like
Mm.
in a text, right? Um, there's no need for that, and then I love to educate families who might have a loved one further along that keep repeating questions, right? "When are we going? What time are we going?"
Yeah.
And our nat we get tired of that. "Well, I just told you, we're going in 10 minutes." Well, please understand the brain, that the hippocampus, the area of the brain that's like a old tape recorder that we had,
Mm,
is broken. They cannot remember the short-term last thing you just said.
mm,
And then learning about dementia enough to know what they're seeking is security, a sense
yeah.
of they feel okay. And learning, the best thing I can teach you is to say, lose your need to be right and
Yeah.
say, whatever their experience, say yes. And
Mm,
we look forward to going to lunch. Another typical thing is somebody keeps saying, "Well, I wanna go home. I wanna go home." And they'll be heading out the door, right? This is in later stages sometime. And family will argue, "Well, you're home already. You're home. What do you mean this is your home?" They're probably thinking of their home way back in the day, or they're
right.
asking for the security.
Mhm. Ooh,
Something's not feeling secure.
Mm,
So a lot of the things are just holding up the dignity, like, understanding what they're experiencing is their reality, right? The brain is creating a different view of the world. Um,
mhm, right. Wow. I remember one time, talking to a young man who was having problems with his mom, and, his mom was suffering from depression, and so he
mhm.
would get into heated arguments with her, and I
Oh,
said, "If your mother had cancer, would you talk to her that way?" He was like, "No." I said, "Well, your mother
mm,
is extremely severely depressed. You just can't see it, but it's mental. So can you lighten up a little bit?"
oh,
He was
yeah.
like, "I can lighten up." Because we try to make it real for him. And,
Yeah.
and that may be something that will come here to me because I feel like, I'm born to pastor and I'm anointed to care for people. But for other people, I love how beautifully you laid it out, the things that we can look out for and how we can help people. Powerful stuff. I got another question for you,
Okay.
and I think this is important. I think this is
Okay.
important. Cat, here we go. As a
Okay.
pharmacist and brain health professional, you live at the intersection of faith, science, and compassion. How do you see God's hand working through the science of brain health? And what promise does that hold for families and congregations who might feel powerless in the face of dementia? Because we got a
Mm.
lot of people that's like, let's pray, let's pray, let's pray, let's pray, and forget the science, the science, the science. How do you take that and intersect it for us? How do you do that?
Oh. Well, I have to say that studying science and studying the brain, studying the body, honestly gave me more faith than ever that there is a
Oh, wow.
divinity, divine plan. If you just go and study how the body works, look at the one cell in the body, and our bodies are being renewed all the time. Okay? Don't think it's a
Hmm.
stagnant, there's nothing happening here. Right now, you and I, our brain is managing more than we could ever handle in a day. Right? Like the process. So I walk away like with this thing, this meat suit you're walking in. First of all, please celebrate it every single day. I just, that is just like it's an amazing. And Frank, yours is unique, and mine is unique, and all the 8 billion people on the planet, they're all
Right.
different. But, so there's
Mm-hmm.
a divine something special going on here. And
Mm-hmm.
if a lot of us live from the mind, right? We live from all these thoughts and these whatever's going on in here. But if we can have the heart and our faith serve the mind better, our minds came here to create things, solve these problems. So if we can step back into that faith and come up with the solutions, but I find that community is key also to creating hope and creating that foundation on the rock for people experiencing these things. And can
Yeah.
we use I don't know. I think science is a gift. It does kind of try to explain how it all works, how it works together. But if we could put science and faith, community together, I think that's where the solutions, can come from. We can
Yeah.
create new and better. And it's from the suffering. I work totally out of my pain. Well, I gotta
Mm,
process into purpose. And
my
so
God.
now, even sitting in this space for such a long time, I would have approached my dad's Alzheimer's so differently
Mm,
than I did. all those years ago. And so
Mm,
now we take our pain, can we take this and go help someone else we know is experiencing this pain?
right.
But then when I learned, wow, we could even maybe prevent this pain if we take care of this divine vessel.
Mm. So let me ask you this. We have this thing in church we call leading while bleeding.
Mm.
Leading while bleeding. And what you just said about you take your pain and you use your pain to do the things that you sit in every day. So the pain that you feel about this, I know it's a catalyst for the good you do. But Kat, do you ever have days where you just sit in a chair and bawl it out?
Yes, now, um, I've been
Or
caring
sit at
for
your
my
piano and just play and just play and just play?
yeah, so, there when I'm tapped out, there's days I am really just tapped out, and I put in what I call the MVP plan, the minimal viable plan to keep everybody okay. Um, and I go outside I have to go outside, I talk to the stars, I talk to God, I get close to Mother Nature to remind me of renewal, and everything has a timing, if you will.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
and I know when I can't, I'm feeling not patient, not compassionate, and I feel all those things. I've had some very resentment toward my mom in this whole process, and I'll be the first to
mm,
tell you, honestly, good gosh, where is this coming from? This is deep. I am just tired of this, right, in a way,
mhm.
but I gotta be honest, when I feel that way, I know it's time to go refuel. I gotta go
Right, right.
refuel, and, leaning on my faith with God, seeing the purpose. Then I have some special friends. Now, special friends go back to high school. Some just send me one text that say, "Checking in."
Mm,
That is a simple, powerful act you could do for a friend.
yeah,
Um, you don't not to give me advice, not to
right.
try to race and solve, but just, "Hey, I'm checking in."
Wow, that's powerful. Just
It's
checking in.
easy, just checking in,
Very easy. Just
just
checking
checking
in. I
in.
love that. I'm just checking
Yes.
in. I'm coming to get measure your pulse, check your pulse and see how
I
you
just
doing.
wanna let you know I'm here
Yeah.
for you. And one thing I love to try to help people understand how people living with cognitive changes, the verbal is the first thing to go, okay? Verbal communication
Mm,
is really the first thing to go. Yours to them, theirs to you.
wow.
So now we gotta learn how to communicate in a different way. Body
Right.
language, the energy that I'm admitting to them, and I always like to equate it to music, okay? Music very powerful in this disease. Am I singing to my loved one heavy metal today? Am I singing gospel? That's way better to them, right? Am
Mhm,
I what
mhm,
what kind of music am I putting out here that much more sensitive to your love or your lack of love? Where are you in? Are you so many people come up to their loved one living with dementia with such a sad song, and that makes somebody living with dementia feel like, "What's wrong?" And if we could get that little piece,
Mm,
realizing we need to fill our cup first, we need to find our peace with what where we are, and I think church can help that so much. Um, and I will
I
just say
believe that.
music is stored in so many different places in the brain. It's something that people never
Mhm.
lose a feeling for. So even if somebody is no
Mhm.
longer verbal, can't communicate, can but you've I don't know if you've seen videos where they play and the person is
I have.
woohoo! And just know this helps so much. You wanna go to music when they were from about, I don't know, 10 to 21. So, Frank, that's Prince and whoever for us back in the day. 70s and 80s. You wanna bring out that kind of
Yeah.
music or church music, like, it really can
Mhm.
communicate something different.
Yeah. You got me thinking here today. This has been so good, and, I'd like to say to people around the country that especially you guys that are lead pastors and executive pastor types and people that handle events at your churches, I'd like for you guys to consider bringing someone like Kat in to let them help you, to let you help put something in place because one thing we can no longer continue to do is to forget those that have had a brain issue or a
Yeah.
mental health
Oh.
issue. We can't forget them. And Kat, I was at an event about 5 years ago, and I was sitting at this table, and I saw this lady at the door, like maybe 20 yards away. And I'm like, oh man, that's the lady. I grew up going to church with her. I remember her. She was crazy. She was this, she was that. And so when she was me, I said, man, and I'm way away. So I'm thinking I won't have to sit by her or anything. And all of a sudden they're pushing her in a wheelchair. And then they put her
Mhm.
right beside me. And I looked at her and
Gotcha.
I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I tell her who I am. She's like, "Yes, I remember you." And we were talking, and I said, "I just wanna apologize to you." And she
Oh.
said, "For what?" I said, "Because everybody had me thinking you were crazy. Really, you were brilliant,
Mm.
and you were before
Mm.
your time, and you were prophetic, and you were passionate, and we didn't know how to handle that."
Ah, love it.
And sometimes what happens is cognitive reserve can be preserved when we
Mhm.
allow people just to be who they are,
Oh,
stop labeling them and saying things to them and causing them to have to hold back and hold things within that they really just want to let out in
let
full
out.
expression, especially in church, because the church should be the ground and pillar of truth. It should be the place where everyone can come and say, I can be my fullest self here, flaws and all. But we've gotten
Mhm.
this thing where we gotten out of pocket. We need to get back to that altar of the table and say, whatever you're going through, we get that you're going through it, but we're gonna make sure that every need you have is met. All of the
Mm.
love you need is in abundance, no limit.
Oh,
All
no
of
limit.
the compassion you need, all of the hugs you need, all of the understanding you need. And so I think if leaders around the world would consider bringing people like you in, it will help make churches so much healthy and help these younger people that are coming up see what they're going to have to do 30 years down the road, 20 years down the road, or if someone in their
Or
family
or
has
sooner.
early onset.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
gotta
yes,
help.
we gotta help them and include the young people, to under and they could be the answer, they could get inspired. A lot of young people that I've worked around are now inspired to go into neuroscience and go dig into these things a little deeper. That's beautiful, Frank, creating
Yeah,
that unconditional love, right? Like, an environment to
right.
bring it all. Just come as
Yes.
you are, come as you are.
Just come on.
And come
Come
on,
on.
and I see so many people, families that You know, people with dementia often get thrown in jail for their behavior when they really have a
Mm,
disease. You know, I we've dealt with that here locally. Um, they get called there's a form of dementia that can really look like a mental illness, but you go image their brain and, like, half of the brain is, like, shrunk, and they've been
mhm.
acting out from this or, there's a that they do some really hard things for families to handle, and then they get labeled as mental health or bipolar or something, but they really have, like, frontal temporal dementia. Which is, so
Good God.
education is really so needed in this space, and then lots of compassion. Compassion for the families going
Mm,
through it, and compassion for the person who's, having to figure out life now with this brain that's giving them different signals.
yeah. So, Kat, let me turn you into a preacher for about 60
Oh
seconds,
gosh.
okay? I'm gonna turn you into a preacher. Your subject that you're gonna preach to us for the next 60 seconds, you are gonna speak from the subject of do something different.
Oh, yes. Do it different.
I know I'm in your wheelhouse now. Come on.
Now you're my
So,
now
Pastor
you're gonna have
Kat,
to
talk to us about do something different.
Oh, do something different. Okay. Yes. Our slogan at my Dangle and Dot is dare. And we got to use the word dare because we keep going down the same path. Okay.
Give
So
it to us.
dare is always, ooh, somebody's asking me to do something I hadn't thought of. Maybe a little bit of, huh? What? Right? Like
Mm,
we're being challenged to dare to do something different. I have sat in this space now for 55 years, and it has changed and it has gotten better, but we have a long way to go to support families. And hope requires action. We cannot sit back and
mm,
allow it to continue on the path that it's going. So when I say dare to do something different, think differently, use your brain, use your heart. Let's have that brain
yeah.
be fueled by the heart and your faith that we can wrap our arms around people who are going this, accept them as whole and complete. That's what I try to do. I look at my loved ones. My mom is withered away and whatever, but I look at her like Christ looked at people who were sick as whole and complete. And if we can bring more of that part of ourselves, it will bring more healing. I really feel like just one individual at a time. Let's bring people living with dementia, whatever they're saying, doing, can we bring them to church? Can we or
Mm,
stop by to the families who are, doing their best. So I just I want dare to think about it differently. Feel it. Feel what calls you in this space. But doing it the same way that we've been doing it is just honestly not working anymore. Doesn't work for families. There's too much suffering,
mm.
too much pain. Um, So I'm glad to have this opportunity to share what we know and then be a catalyst for people to come up with their own ways that they can, support people and create the altar of acceptance.
Yeah. That was beautiful, Pastor Cat. Let the church
I don't
say
know.
amen.
I was a I was a cheerleader and cheerleading for the
That
brain health.
was beautiful. You did great.
Thank
You
you.
did great.
Oh,
So
I
look,
you can mentor me.
hey, I've been calling you Cat. I'm not even used to calling you Cat. Probably like you're not used to calling me Frank, but I'm gonna say Couture.
You can take it to work. That's a biblical
Miss
name, Old
Hartley.
Testament, Yes.
Oh, I believe it. I know it to be true. I know it to be true. So, on behalf of all of us here at Epic Fellowship Church and our listening family across our hometown, Rocky Mount and beyond,
Oh,
thank you. You have reminded us that love has layers, memory has meaning, and that hope is
mm,
still holy ground. The
mm,
story of Dangle and Dot shows that even in life's mismatched moments, in grief and struggle and in uncertainty, God can still weave beauty and purpose. So, to our listeners, if someone you love is
mm.
walking through the shadows of dementia, remember that presence is ministry.
Oh,
Your
yes.
care, your patience, and your prayers are sermons in motion.
That's true.
And to those seeking more information, you can visit Kat's website at cathartleyspeaks.com and at
Right.
dangleanddot.com. Am I right, Miss Cat?
Yes,
All right.
dangle dot,
You can
all
learn
one
more
word.
about her work and at Dangle Dot,
Just, one whole word,
not Dangle and
D-A-N-G-L-E,
Dot.
just dangle dot, one word, and then the period, com.
Got it.
Yes, and we have a YouTube
Got
channel
it.
where we talk
Got it.
about it.
And what's your YouTube channel?
Uh, YouTube, it's dangle dot, one word,
Okay. Got it.
D-A-N-G-L-E-D-O-T. Thank
Got
you.
it. So
That
I
was
want you
beautiful.
guys to reach out to her. Is there an email address that we can put out there for them to reach out to you?
On the Dangle Dot website, you can contact, and I'll be the one.
Uh-huh.
Will be. I'd love
Got it.
that. Again, I have done a
Uh-huh.
lot of church work here in Las Vegas with the
Uh-huh.
pastors that get together. Have learned a lot from that experience, and people are eager for the information. So it's in my
Uh-huh.
heart to share it, and just through understanding and like I love that presence is prayer. Now that's powerful right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Thank you.
So
I
look,
really.
check this out. This is Pastor Frank. Go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Cat. Go ahead.
Oh, no, no, I want you to mic drop it again. That was so good.
Okay. Okay. So let's do this again. Here it is. For those of you that are seeking more information, visit her website at dangledot.com.
There we go.
And also you can visit her website at cathartleyspeaks.com. You can
Mhm.
learn more about her work, her advocacy, and the hope she continues to share with families around the world. So this is Pastor Frank from Epic Fellowship Church reminding you that no matter what we face, God's grace can still restore, redeem, and renew every part of your story. Stay encouraged, stay faithful, and always keep empowering people in Christ. I love you. Kat loves you. Thank you, Kat. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everyone listening here today. God bless you.